Oh yeah. Here we go now. That's it right there. Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, feel that. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Confessions of a Domestic Engineer. Okay, folks, I don't know how long this is going to run. This is going to be a little bit of a rant. I'm a little late to the table on this one, but this one is about Morph in the X-Men 97 cartoon. So, there's been a lot of stuff going around online about, the voice actor or someone related to the X-Men 97 series making a comment about Morph being non-binary. There are a few ways to go with this train of thought. The very first one is, if this is a direct continuation from the X-Men cartoon that existed in the 90s, which they have played up intensely with this show already, to the point where they had, in the very first episode, a Walkman fall, hit the ground, and a cassette tape break and fall out of it, okay? So that is how much they're trying to stick to it being a direct continuation. That being said, if it is 100% a direct continuation, unless Bishop or Cable brings back the term and introduces it to Morph from the future, Morph should not hear that term at that time. The term didn't exist as a common knowledge term when that came out. If it existed as a term at all, I didn't bother to look at the origins of when the term non-binary first started being used. I come from an age where we just call it androgynous. Alright, that being said, if you are basing it just off the cartoon, fine, whatever. And if it's something they're going to introduce from the future being brought back to the past, fine, whatever. The problem I've got is they changed Morph to look like Kevin Sweeney. Now, Morph in the cartoon, as he looks now in X-Men 97, is what Morph from the Exiles looked like. And Morph from the Exiles was introduced after Morph from the original X-Men cartoon was introduced. But Morph in the Exiles is Kevin Sweeney. Kevin Sweeney did exist in the Marvel Universe prior to the X-Men cartoon. He just went under the name Changeling instead. Now, the Exiles Morph is not technically the exact same one as the 616 continuity. They are different morphs, so there are different factors involved. However, the classic Morph from the comic books that everybody knows, loves, etc., 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 is not a non-binary character. Every part of his personality is male. If you go through and you read the Exiles run, every last part of Morph is 100% male personality. So, I think calling Morph non-binary is an insult to Morph. Morph is actually gender fluid, because while Morph can change his gender at will, his personality is always male. But Morph does change his gender at will, usually in times of humor or just to make people happy. A prime example of this is there was a big long discussion between a female variant of Sunfire and Morph, where Morph said he would just stay in a woman's body his entire life just to make the lesbian happy so he could be with her. But the lesbian says, no, you're not a woman. That wouldn't be true to you. So, to me, Morph cannot be non-binary because Morph is not non-binary. Morph has a distinct male personality. At least Kevin Sweeney Morph has a distinct male personality in the comic books. But once again, this is the cartoon, not the comic books. And once again, if they had kept Morph looking like the cartoon version and had not brought in the appearance of the Kevin Sweeney version of Morph, it would be a completely different discussion. But that's not what happened. So I am against Morph being classified as non-binary, and going with that, I have watched every episode so far. I have a few complaints, like the over-sexualizing of Gambit to the point where he literally says that, tongue-in-cheek, that being sexy is his other special power. Outside of that, so far I've actually really enjoyed what they've done. I've been enjoying how they've been handling stuff. I think they kind of rushed the whole Madeline Pryor Inferno kind of storyline with the Goblin Queen, and that could have been dragged out quite a bit longer. I don't know why they didn't. And I don't like the way they just had her all of a sudden take on her outfit without explaining that it was actually because she was the Black Queen at one point. But hey, let's not get that nitpicky. They took a really good storyline and they rushed it. It was a decent episode, but it should have played out over a couple episodes. It should not have been rushed the way it was. I got issues with that. All right, moving along from there, though. I've watched every episode so far up until April 9th. I'm recording this on April 9th, so there will be a new episode that will come out before you will most likely get to hear this. But as of this point, there has been literally no mention whatsoever in the show of Morph being non-binary. And I know people have made comments about them hinting at there being some type of relationship between Morph and Wolverine, which, for the love of God, I really hope they don't do. Unless they do the Sunfire thing as well, where Morph says that he'll pretend to be a girl the entire time to be with Wolverine. That would be an interesting take, because that would be directly out of the comic books, just kind of reversed around. But I don't want that, because Wolverine is not gay. Even in the X-Men cartoon, Wolverine 100% was a dude who loved women of all different types. Not even his little gene fetish, okay? They introduced so many other of Wolverine's past love or potential loves and stuff like that. Just don't do that, okay? It's disingenuous to do that to both of those characters. So I hope to God it's just people making crap up that they're seeing and blowing it out of proportion, because it's all out of a sideways, weird glance kind of thing on the show. This is the problem with everybody having to make everything fit into these stupid little niche columns with these niche little check marks, because everybody just starts looking for the crap now. This cartoon, I have gotten to the point where I actually delete anything on Facebook now that even mentions Morph being non-binary, because it's just shitposting. Anything that mentions this gay relationship between Morph and Wolverine, I delete. It's just shit posting. It's intentionally driving up controversy that doesn't need to be. This cartoon, if they had never mentioned Morph being non-binary, if they had never mentioned the whole tongue-in-cheek hidden relationship thing that people are speculating between Morph and Wolverine, no one would have given a crap, and everybody would just watch the cartoon because they want to watch it and love it. This was a cartoon that was much anticipated. It did not need all this negative backlash type press and publicity to make it popular, to get people to watch it. People would have just watched it. I mean, when the DVDs were all originally released of it, I went out and bought all of them for my son. So I watched it originally in the 90s. My son watched it later on in the 2000 teens. I think that's around the time where we bought it for him, the early 2000s, early around 2010, something like that, whenever it came out. Not the point. The point is, my son watched it for that reason. Both of us, waiting for this to come out? Yes. Why? We love the original cartoon. 2 different generations. Now another generation will get to get exposed to it. But trying to pigeonhole all these characters into these little boxes, it's just so stupid. So stupid. Especially when it really doesn't play out at all. Especially when it's just someone saying something behind the scenes that has no relevance to the show itself. That's what it boiled down to. Someone behind the scenes said something. There's no sign of it whatsoever in the show. It's just someone talking out their ass. End of story. Okay, folks, I'm done with this rant. Let me know what you think on this whole Morph controversy thing, which really shouldn't be a controversy because it's bullshit. Drop a line below in the comments. On your way down there, you'll also see in the description that there is a link to TWA Trampoline Wrestling Association and to my Patreon. Also, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell for notifications. Very much appreciated if you do that. Peace, love, take care.